Good evening, everyone. We're going to call to order the February 2024 meeting of the Homewood Planning Commission. If we could start with a roll call, please, Mr. Goodwin.
All right. Mr. Henniger.
Here.
Ms. Wilcott.
Here.
Mr. Harwell.
Here.
Mr. Respento. Mr. Armstead. Mr. Broadhead. Ms. Andress.
Here.
Mr. Gulas.
Here.
And Mr. Roberts.
Here. Thank you. Next, we have the approval of the December 2023 meeting minutes. Those were circulated. They look good to me. If they look good to you guys, I'd entertain a vote to, or motion to approve.
So moved.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the minutes passed, rather. All right, so communications, Mr. Armstead's not here. I have nothing really of substance. I noticed we have a pretty good crowd here today. I think it's, given the number of people here, it's probably good to remind everyone that this is a public hearing and we encourage feedback from everyone. But if you're coming up on a case that's had several people, if you could try to keep your comments somewhat less redundant and try to keep them to three minutes if you can, we would appreciate that. With that said, we're going to move on to, we have no old business. We're going to move on to new business. First case is AD 2402-01, 501 Oxmoor Road. Applicant is Jared Bussey. Whoever's here to present, come forward, please.
Hey there, I am Jared Bussey. I'm the architect representing the Harrises. And my address is 1604 28th Avenue South, Homewood. And we're here before you because we are looking to add on to a house that is in a development plan area, Oxford Place. And so any addition, as I understand it, needs to come before the Planning Commission. As I also understand, there are no set or prescribed setbacks or any rules at all for Oxford Place. Despite that, we sort of took an approach of what would NPD like and allow us to do because we're surrounded by NPD zoning. If we were to come ask for a variance, you can look at the challenges of the site. We're not asking for a variance, but you can see there's some difficulties with the way the site is platted and how it's turned, and then how the house is also sited on the property. So it creates some challenges in doing any kind of lateral additions. The house is currently a two-story structure. We would like to build a new two-story addition to add a bedroom and bathroom on the main level, and then just create a little bit more room on the second story for those 3 bedrooms that are there. On the exterior, we're just going to cover the existing stoop a little bit better. In the addition, it's going to sort of have a secondary minor appearance in relation to the rest of the existing house. If you took the cul-de-sac as our front, again, it's a strange shaped lot. If that's our front property line, then where we're adding on could be considered side yards. With those setbacks, we would comply with NPD. Again, it's really difficult to say what's front, side, and rear, but just trying to be, have a minimal footprint on the property.
Okay, if there's nothing further, we'll open up the public portion of the hearing. If anyone is here tonight to speak to this case, this will be your opportunity to come forward. Okay, and seeing no one, we'll close the public portion of the case and open this case up for questions from the commission.
Can you tell us how far this addition is from any adjacent or not property, but building or structure?
The closest structure is going to be 500 probably. And, we're 33.7 off of our if you drew a horizontal line to the property, we're about 33 feet off. 500 is about that far off as well. Plan North is is the, sort of the nearest property. That house is significantly further away. So actually where we're adding on to, that house, it's not really in screen. It's, I was at least 50, 60 feet. It might be more. It's a very deep lot north
Gotcha.
of us.
All right, thank you.
If there are no further questions, I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve AD 240201.
All right. Ms. Wilcott?
Yes.
Mr. Harwell?
Yes.
Mr. Henniger?
Yes.
Ms. Andrus?
Yes.
Mr. Gulas?
Yes.
And Mr. Roberts?
Yes, so your case passes unanimously.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Okay, the next new case is a resurvey request. It's RS 24-02-02. The address is 2510 18th Street South. The applicant is BGL Homewood LLC. If you could, sir, please write your name and on the pad there and state your name for the record.
Sure.
And address.
John Abernathy, representing BGL. My address is 303 Ascot Road, Homewood. Mainly here to answer questions. We're surveying this lot into two lots. We have not previously offered those townhomes for sale, and we are working towards that to offer a few for sale. So as part of that, we're setting up an HOA. We want to get this vacant property out of the HOA. So that was the reason for the request. And I'm available to answer any questions.
So the new subdivided portion would not be?
It would not, it would just be, it's the, so it's the, where the townhomes are now, and the Birmingham Waterworks Board easement would be in the one lot, and then just the rest of the land that's on the other side of the Birmingham Waterworks Board easement would be the second lot.
And before we get any more questions, let's just open up, if we can, the public portion. If anyone's here to speak on this case tonight, this is your opportunity. Okay, and seeing no one, we'll close the public portion and open it back up for questions.
What are your egress and ingress for the back, plans for the back piece of the property?
It has a public right-of-way that comes up to it. It comes up to the lot. There's no way to access from the front today anyway. We can't, Waterworks Board doesn't allow us to cross our easement.
So do you have plans for the property,
No
or is it
plans.
just going to be?
No plans.
Okay.
Yeah. It's got easements through it, it's got some topo, it's a challenge inside it. But no plans for it, just trying to get it out of the HOA.
All right, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve RS 240202.
All right. Mr. Gulas?
Yes.
Ms. Andrus?
Yes.
Mr. Henniger?
Yes.
Mr. Harwell?
Yes.
Ms. Wilcott? Yes. And Mr. Roberts?
Yes. Okay, the resurvey request passes. All right, our next two cases and last two cases this evening are related. They both relate to 1914 13th, no, sorry, it's the wrong address. 1300 Columbiana Road. The first case is RS 24-02-03, which is a resurvey request for that property. The second case is a rezoning request, RZ 23-10-01. If we could hear both of these cases simultaneously, we will vote on them separately at the end with the resurvey first. And just state for the record, Ms. Andrus is recusing herself on this vote.
Okay. My name is Bob Easley with Alabama Engineering Company. I'm here to request two things. We're going to talk about them together and vote separately, but to start with the resurvey, we have a 3.73 acre parcel. We're dividing it into two lots. Lot one would be for a future commercial medical office building and a parking lot, a 45 parking space parking lot. The south part is the existing church. Lot two would be for the existing church. We have, the developer of the commercial medical office building has worked with the church, and we've come up with a plan that I think everybody is reasonably happy with. They're under contract to sell the lot two to the church and work on a shared parking basis going forward. I believe you've got the subdivision case and the site plan for it that shows that shared parking lot. It's a plan that works with the shared parking lot. Without it, if you have to double up the parking for both, the church needs about 54 parking spaces. Medical office needs about 33 parking spaces. And you can't put all those parking spaces on one, but the church is open. You know, the medical office use would be busy during the week when typically there's nothing going on at the church, so it's a great way to share resources. And the construction of the parking lot will be on the medical office, but the church will have the rights to use it during church times.
Okay, well, this is a public hearing. If anyone is here tonight to speak to this case, if you could come up and please be heard. And also, if you come up to speak, if you could, again, make sure you write your name, state your name for the record.
Yes, sir. My name is Jason Avery. I'm a lawyer in town. I'm representing Grace Fellowship Church. Just to confirm what Mr. Easley has said, Grace Fellowship is under contract to acquire the southern portion, proposed Lot 2, from Progressive, the developer. We went under contract last week, working in good faith. There is some site plan questions that we have, and we plan to address those through meetings with the developer, as well as our easement and cross parking agreement that will be needed. But as far as what the commission is deciding tonight, if I understand it correctly, you're deciding subdivision and the rezoning. That is not part of what Grace's concerns are. Ours relates solely to site plan and our easement agreement that will be hopefully decided in the next 30 days. But as far as the subdivision is concerned, we want to offer our support to that, as well as the rezoning of the northern portion of this mother parcel for the developer's usage. I did forget to state my address, 415 Edgeland Place. Please forgive me for that. Thank you.
I'm Mary Clyde Teague. I'm a member at Second Presbyterian Church. My address is 2618 Butte Woods Drive, 35242. I'm here with over half of our congregation. We're a small congregation, but we've got about 6 or 7 folks here. And we are excited that this might actually happen. It would be great for our church. It would be great for Grace's church. It would be a blessing for the daycare, and I think it would be wonderful for the developer. It would work out for all of us. So I'm just here to show our support for that. Thank y'all.
Thank you. Okay, seeing no one else coming forward, we'll close the public portion of the hearing and open it back up for questions. We, in our pre-meeting, we understood, from our pre-meeting, we understand that there'll be some, there'll have to be some variances for this property.
That's correct. We've worked out, spoken with staff about them. We've got several variances relating to landscape buffers and dumpster placement and the amount of parking that can be shared. I think from our meetings with staff, we feel good about that. And I think we're planning to submit this Thursday for the March variance hearing.
Fred, procedurally, it would, with the variance, subdivision is just subdivision, but with the zoning recommendation be contingent upon the variance being received?
You know, the subdivision would go forward. That's the purview of the planning commission. The zoning is attached with a conceptual site plan. That doesn't mean there can't be modifications. It's intended to give you, the planning commission, and the city council an idea of the proposal and how it would sit on the property. The current conceptual plan, if it were to go forward, would necessitate certain variances. If for some reason the Board of Zoning Adjustment would not grant those variances, then there might be a need to revise that site plan. But this is a conceptual at this point, so no building permit would be issued until it complied with the requirements. If it needed a variance, then you wouldn't get that building permit until it was granted by the board. But again, what you have before you is a conceptual site plan associated with that rezoning request. So that's the plan going forward, and hopefully the Board of Zoning Adjustment, if there are some variances needed, will grant those so that this plan can go forward. But if it doesn't, then it would have to be modified before a building permit would be issued.
Like I said, I think the landscape buffer and other things are in that I-2. The I-2, I think there's a landscape buffer that's required around I-2.
Yeah, there is a certain, yeah.
Which, by changing the
Yeah,
zoning
there
next
may
to it
be a
automatically.
need, because of the limited amount of land, there may be need to reduce the size of that buffer from what's required based on constraints on the lot itself, you know. So that would be up to the Board of Zoning Adjustments to look at that issue and decide the reasonableness of that request, you know. But, yeah, so they'd have to look at the merits of those variance requests and act on them. But again, no building permit would be issued if there is a need for some outstanding variance. But going forward, the conceptual plan is what the city council and this commission is looking at tonight. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, I'll just remind everyone, if there is a motion, we need to do these one at a time, so we'll vote on them one at a time, so we'll take separate motions, I guess.
Right. Correct.
And Ms. Andrews cannot make the motion, I don't think.
All right, well, I'll make it. Motion to approve RS 24-02-03.
All right. Mr. Goulas,
Yes.
Ms. Andress,
Abstain.
Mr. Henninger,
Yes.
Mr. Harwell,
Yes.
Ms. Wilcott,
Yes.
and Mr. Roberts.
Yes, so your resurvey request is approved.
Thank you.
All right, motion to approve RZ 23-10-01.
All right. Mr. Goulas?
Yes.
Ms. Andress?
Abstain.
Mr. Henninger?
Yes.
Mr. Harwell?
Yes.
Ms. Wilcott? Yes. And Mr. Roberts?
Yes, so your rezone request will go forward to city council with a 5-0 vote with 1 abstention.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, do we have any communications from staff this evening?
I'll mention that our zoning ordinance passed. So we have a new zoning ordinance as of last Monday night. So that's exciting for us and for our BZA and for you guys, I hope.
Yeah, no, it's great, much
Yeah.
better.
We've identified, as we knew that we would, a few small changes already, and so we're making a list and plan to submit those in the next 6 months.
Is it online for our reading pleasure?
It is.
We should have gotten a copy electronically sent up.
Okay.
Yeah, but there's an online version that was the advertised version with the red text. We haven't put the final signed version up yet. We're working on that.
All right, with that, we'll adjourn the meeting. Thanks, everyone.